Hey everybody, it's Safi and Marco Dish Out on Movies, the only movie review show on YouTube to review movies in terms of food. And it's just Marco here today, although I did get some of Safi's thoughts. So yeah, we're going to talk about the Oscars. 2020 Oscars, yay! Not really. As you guys have seen, maybe, I don't consider the Oscars relevant. And what I mean by that is whenever people say, oh, Green Book was the best picture of 2018, well, I don't really consider that relevant to the quality of the movie. Same thing as for any other award. I think that it's just irrelevant. Just because it's the Oscars doesn't mean anything. I mean, it's become apparent that they don't take it seriously. The voters, that is, they don't take it seriously, and they don't even watch the films. They don't watch the films. They ask each other for each other's opinions, and they also badmouth people based on what they did before the movie that they could be nominated for. We saw this with Adam Sandler in Uncut Gems, which, I mean, I was going to do a video about this separately, but basically they said since he does bad comedies before this means he's not Oscar material. And to me, that's just bullshit because then you look at like Leonardo DiCaprio. What movie was he in as a little kid? Critters 4. Critters 4. Is that Oscar material? Yeah, okay. Uh, and so I really do not consider the Oscars relevant. And so I question why I even make these videos, but it's just you guys will watch it, so and so anyways, I was happy about a couple of things. I liked Shia LaBeouf and Zach from Peanut Butter Falcon presenting. Again, I hated the movie, but I thought that they make a great duo, and I think they make a great duo, and I'd love to see them again because they were funny, they were cute together, and it was great seeing them, honestly. And also, there's a little bit of negativity though because Safi brought this up to me. She said, and I agree with her. She does not like what Natalie Portman did with her stupid outfit, having a list of names of female directors on the side of the dress embroidered. I mean, what does that accomplish? That you're just petulant and babyish? That you're willing to do anything to get attention? And it's embarrassing. Like the fact that, I mean, these awards are given based on merit. And to me, especially this year, it was an extremely competitive year for directors in film. I mean, every single director up there deserved to be nominated. A lot of other years, there's very questionable nominees. But this year, it was like, oh, what? How could you pick from that group of people? And so, yeah, I think it's just a bunch of bullshit. I think that she's trying to get attention. She's, it's another way of throwing a temper tantrum. And I thought, she's probably going to be upset about this, but at least I don't have to hear about it because she's not being nominated and she's not presenting. Because you remember what happened the last time when she was like, to all the white male nominees. Like, just come on. Just really, really babyish behavior. And Safi actually said, and I quote, she said that Natalie Portman and Gina Davis can go fuck themselves. And now that wasn't my words, that was Safi's words. I just want to make that clear. I mean, I probably say the same thing, but I wouldn't want to say it on YouTube. Because, I mean, it's not even a part of the show. I mean, she's sitting in the audience. She's not on stage. It shouldn't really even be in the discussion. But I was also very happy that to see Brie Larson and Gal Gadot on stage together. I thought that they were really great together. And I thought it was funny how Gal seemed a lot more loose and sort of like extroverted, and Bree seemed like really like she was nervous, and it was hard to be up there without just exploding. And so that was cool, and seeing Sigourney Weaver, of course. And then for in terms of the awards, though, again, the awards aren't really relevant, but I will discuss what I liked and didn't like. Number one, I liked how Ford v Ferrari won for best editing, because it sends a message that we want color in film. A lot of films nowadays, especially like Irishman, Peanut Butter Falcon, all of these films, they suck the color out of film. They take a beautiful picture, and when they edit it, they put this filter over it, or they turn down the colors to make everything look dark and dull and ugly and gross. And I am glad that Ford v Ferrari won for best editing, because that film, honestly, it looks so beautiful, especially on the big screen. And the editing too, the pacing of everything, of the races, it was just epic. So I am so happy that won. And then let's also get to oh yeah, Joker. Uh, Joker score rightfully won, and you have all these stupid feminazis crying about uh, no women directors, but then you have this amazing female composer who won for this Joker score, and it's like they don't even care. And so, see, that's the problem, is that Hollywood is listening to this group of people that basically all they do is cry. They cry about this, they cry about that, and then when stuff that they would like happens, they don't really care. It's just like with Birds of Prey. Nobody wants to see that piece of shit movie. Nobody wants to see that. And yet you have you have people wondering, "Oh, how did Birds of Prey fail? I wonder why. I wonder fucking why." And it's so weird, because she's such a talented composer. Hildur, I hope I said that name correctly. She did a fantastic job. She wrote the score and did it and everything without even seeing a movie. She wrote the score by reading the script. She's that talented. And to me, I think that it would be much better, instead of tearing down the successful male nominees in other categories, why don't you focus on celebrating the females who did get nominated and who did win? Because I don't hear any of you Twitter 15-year-old pansexual weirdos, I don't hear any of you celebrating the fact that this very talented woman won an award for best score. I mean, what the fuck? Are you really just that? Like, oh, only best picture matters, or only best director matters? Like, really? So yeah, anyways, that's whatever. I'm going too long. And other things, I obviously I like that Joaquin Phoenix won for best actor, even though that it was kind of shitty that Adam Sandler was not in there, because Adam Sandler did so much better of a job than Leonardo DiCaprio in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. And they admitted that they did not watch Uncut Gems, and that he was not Oscar material, and that, oh, he just can't be nominated because he's Adam Sandler. And I just think that's sick. I think that's sick. And speaking of sick, I'm glad I remembered to mention this. They have a part where they have an in memoriam section where they talk about actors and actresses and people in the industry who just died the past year. And they have a moment of silence and they celebrate them and read off their names. Guess who wasn't on there? Yeah, there was actually people not on there. Luke Perry, and Sid Haig. Sid Haig, who was a very popular horror star. Horror. He was just in that shitty Three from Hell piece of shit movie. But he was such a fantastic horror actor, and he wasn't even mentioned. This is called In Memoriam, where they talk about a list of names of people who just died. And they died. And you can't even mention them. It's just bad. And this is another reason that I do not consider the Oscars relevant. Is because you have this horror star and Sid Haig, and of course he's not mentioned because he's from the horror genre. And that is how much irrelevant these Oscars are. You can't sit there and tell me with a straight face that Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark did not have fantastic visual effects compared to all the other movies that were nominated. But of course, they ignore horror. And when this is called the Oscars, it's not called the Comedy, Drama, Romance Awards. It's called the Oscars, the Film Awards, the Academy Awards. This is about all movies, not just a certain few. And so I think it's disgusting. If anything, talk about snubs, talk about movies not getting nominated. Why don't you ever talk about what happens to horror movies? And because they don't even watch them, they don't care about them, they just pretend like they don't exist, or it's like they're not Oscar material, like Critters 4, starring Leonardo DiCaprio. But yeah, that's just another reason that the Oscars are not relevant. Lastly, second to lastly, Safi was happy that Brad Pitt got nominated. That he won for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Personally, I did not like him as much as Joe Pesci or Al Pacino in The Irishman. I just rewatched that movie and I like it a lot. Like, it went from near the top 10 worst to in the top 10 best. That's how much I liked it the second time around. And the second time around, I really paid attention to Joe Pesci and Al Pacino, and they did such a phenomenal job of acting compared to Brad Pitt, who's basically just playing a cool guy. That's basically what he was. He was the cool guy. And there really wasn't much depth or nuance to his performance. There could have been if it was a more deep story. It just seems kind of, I like the movie quite a bit, but I do think it's a little overrated. It was great for this year. 2019 was a bad year for movies. And out of what we got, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood doesn't seem so bad. But then lastly, Toy Story 4, that film won for Best Animated Feature. What a travesty. That sinister, evil, dark SJW propaganda film. I despise that film won an award, but again, it's not relevant. And then we get to, finally, this is the final thing. Julia Fox was snubbed for Best Supporting Actress. I am totally just bewildered why she didn't get nominated at least for Best Supporting Actress over at least one of them. There's that one girl from Little Women, and I think they said something about like her being the just random wild card choice, and a lot of people were unhappy with Jennifer Lopez not getting nominated, and it's like you have good examples of snubs of terms of like anyone. It doesn't matter their gender, it matters what they actually did in the film. And it seems that the Oscars just don't take the films themselves for what they are. They only give awards based on I don't know, based on like what we should give awards, quote unquote, which is why I'm surprised Irishman didn't get anything. I mean, it didn't get anything. And it was a great movie, and usually, Martin Scorsese movies, you know, the Oscars give them a basket of awards. So it was very surprising. Anyway, I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, hit the like button, subscribe to our channel in case you want to see more videos, and goodbye!